Good afternoon, curling fans, and welcome to the Everest Canadian Senior Men's and Women's Curling Championships. We are live from the Community First Curling Center in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. You may be able to hear the pre-game announcements going on at ice level. In our feature game today, we have a men's matchup with Team Manitoba taking on Team Nova Scotia. My name is Peter Stesky, and I'm your host. Not sure if I'll be having a co-host join me today. If not, we'll get through it on our own. Good matchup today, experienced teams. Manitoba is going to be throwing first. They play out of the LaSalle Curling Club, coming in with a record of 1 win and 1 loss. Lead, Dale Mickey. Second, Pete Nichols. Their third, Dean Maxim. And their skip, Randy Neufeld. For Nova Scotia, tough start for the guys. They're off to an 0-2 start. Need a win to get back in today. Their lead is Harold McCarthy. Second, Danny Christensen. Their third is Stuart McLean. And their skip is Alan O'Leary. And they play out of the Dartmouth Curling Club. As I said, Nova Scotia will start here with the hammer. For those just tuning in for the first time this week, the Everest Canadian Seniors, there's 14 men's and ladies teams. They play in 2 pools of 7. The top 4 from each pool will advance to the playoffs. You'll play crossover against the other pool, and then the top 4 records will advance to the playoffs, I believe. This wraps up on Saturday with the men's and ladies final. So the teams are going to go right at it here off the start. Dale threw up a center guard for Manitoba and a perfect come around from Harold McCarthy. This is Dale's 3rd national senior men's competition, also played in 2015 and 2016. Was the 2015 national senior men's champion. What a great start to the game here today. 3 perfect shots from the leads. Harold's also a Canadian Seniors champion, won it back in 2014. Followed that up with a bronze in 2016. And this is his 6th time at the seniors. So as I said during the intro, both teams extremely experienced. You can see how good the ice surface is here in Sault Ste. Marie. The Community First Curling Center, and wow, another perfect one. It's too bad Randy's not here to watch this. He might actually learn something. These teams off to a great start. Pete Nichols, guy I've known for a long time. He curls out of the Granite Club and LaSalle. Played in the 1994 Brier with Dave Smith. And the 1997 Olympic trials, also with Dave Smith. This is his 3rd national senior men's. Also a gold medalist in 2015. And they just keep lobbing them down pretty much perfect here. You could make a play on that, Rock, if you're Allen. Skip of Nova Scotia, but he's going to stick with the draw game here, go way out wide. Second stone, Danny Christensen. I believe his daughter plays with Suzanne Goody out of PEI. Danny also Played together with Harold. They won the gold in 2014, the bronze in 2016. And in the 2015 World Seniors, a silver medalist. So nothing's going to shock these guys. And they've shown it, coming right out of the gate, making shot after shot after shot here. Pete Nichols now going out wide with the in-turn draw, trying to make a freeze. Again, Nova Scotia has the hammer here to start. That looks like a miss, but it's actually a very usable rock where it is. Be able to use that to tap up or run back. Allen's aware of that, so he's probably going to make some kind of play on it. He could guard it. That'd leave a double run back. He's going to have Danny just play a hit across the face here. Obviously can't afford to be wide. Typically, because of that, you're going to see quite a few tight throws in this situation because the curler's well aware they don't want to drive this one off the outside. A lot of rocks moving there, just over curled. Opens up the center now, access to the 4-foot and those yellow stones in there. And this angle here is set up pretty nicely as well to go yellow-green onto the yellow. That angle's always going to be there, so I think skip Randy Neufeld might have Dean Moxham draw in. I said Maxim in the intro. That's my mistake. Dean Moxham throwing third rocks here for Manitoba, trying to sneak through this little port. If it hangs, he could just chip off of the green one as well. Able to kill the one. Shooter's going to roll away, but you can see a lot of green sitting around in the rings. Unfortunately for Team Manitoba, they don't have the hammer. Nova Scotia continues to lie one here. Potential triple. You could hit about a half a rock here of the rock that's just off the center line in the top 8-foot. It's a fairly natural double, but you might clip the one out in the back 12 as well. Stuart McLean here, the lefty, throwing third stones for Nova Scotia. This one got away from him a bit. Big over curl, might jam at the back though. All things considered, that's not what he wanted to do, but that actually worked out okay. Again, Nova Scotia lies one, Manitoba lies, it looks to me like second and third shot. Second shot's very protected. Gonna have Dean play the run back here. Short little run back with the in-turn. We've seen this spot. It curls pretty nicely here. That's a great shot. Able to stick it. Manitoba now lies two. There is access to shot rock here though. Stewart could throw his out turn, make a little hit and roll behind these centers. His second shot here in the first end. Again, Nova Scotia really needs a win today. They're 0-2. It's a 6-game round robin. So 3 loss is probably the max. You'd probably be in some type of tiebreaker scenario. That's a really nice roll. Pops out a hair in the open But what he did is take away that short little run back that Manitoba would have had, because they can't get to this rock to get it onto this stone here. They can play the tap up into this area, which is what they'd love to do. They could also draw there with the in-turn. This double is available for Nova Scotia, so I'd be a little worried about leaving that. You want to get one in here if you're Manitoba. They've thrown draws down this path. They should know what it does. In practice, a lot of the play is towards the button because both teams draw closest to the button to determine who has the hammer. So a lively start to this game for sure. Great roll by Stuart McLean. He's given his team shot rock. First shot here for Randy Neufeld, skip of Manitoba. Looking to throw the in-turn draw. Using the crutch like our good friend Reed Carruthers, who were busting his chops last night a little bit. This looks like it probably picked. Randy coming back to look. It looks like it got away early. Picks are a very unfortunate part of curling, and now Allen's looking at that double that I diagrammed out, coming down, hitting this. Shooter goes in there. And if they're able to make that, they're actually in very good shape to set up a 3-ender. Possibly even 4. Not an easy shot. Got to whip it down there fairly hard. It's fairly flat, I would say. Allen played in the 93 and 94 Brier, the Bat Brier at the time. This is his 7th Canadian Senior Men's. Won the Canadians in 2015 and won that silver medal at the Worlds. Huge opportunity in the first. Out-turn hit off the center line, trying to make the double. Just barely over curled for the double. I think it's measurable, but I'm going to go with Manitoba being second shot. I was going to say it's fairly early in the day, but it's actually afternoon, so I'm not going to get away with that one. Chance here for Manitoba to draw around everything, get a piece of the button and be shot rock though. That's a great angle of it there. I think it's green. So after an unfortunate pick on Randy's first, that can always rattle you a bit because you really don't get much feedback on whether your weight was good, bad, or otherwise. So he's going to have to trust what the front end gives him here for a number. If he is second shot, the option here is to be short and just block the path to the 4-foot. Be a pretty good force situation. You never mind that when you don't start with the hammer. Conceding 1 to the opposition's okay. This will curl in here very nicely. It has all week. And this is a beauty. That's a great rebound after having a rock pick like that to step up and just drop one on the button there. Now an excellent chance for Manitoba to steal. We'll see this on the replay, how much late finish this gets. Really nice judge by the judge and job by the brushers, not bringing that too deep. That would have been very easy to oversweep. There is a long raise they're looking at. They could go green onto yellow. And there's also this double here. They got to try to sneak it past this stone. This is tough. They can't see a lot of it. You got to hit the rock fairly thin. I would say a third. Probably a third or less. Half is too much. They definitely have enough of the rock. No one's really thrown in this path though, so it's a bit of a guess. Not a lot of risk though, in my opinion. I think the most they could give up here is 1, and they're already looking at that anyway. If this is executed, a chance to maybe put 2 up on the board. So final stone here, first and skip of Nova Scotia, Alan O'Leary. Double takeout attempt. Sneaks past the guard. And there is a beauty shot. Clips it far enough to put 3 on the board for Nova Scotia. That was a great end of curling. The boys from Dartmouth come out with a field goal, and they will lead Manitoba 3-0. That's a real uplifter for the team. They were definitely facing a steal there, and that was just a great throw by Allen. Bit of a heartbreaker for Manitoba. They didn't miss much that end. Both teams executed very well. A great last rock draw by Randy. Harold McCarthy throwing lead rocks for Nova Scotia. Favorite food is anything with fries, so him and Randy would get along very well. His favorite curler is Al Hackner. Al is on his way here today. I think he's driving from Thunder Bay with some friends. Gonna come. We're gonna try to get Al in the booth later in the week. I said Suzanne Goody earlier. That was her maiden name. It's now Suzanne Burt. Danny's daughter plays second for that team. Danny throwing second stones here for Nova Scotia. Nice corner guard put up there by Dale. Again, all the experience we have on the ice. These guys know 3 points. First and 7 ends of curling left with the 5 rock. Plenty of time to get back in it. Love to manufacture a deuce for sure. And imagine Allen will have Harold throw a tight one here, if not right into the rings. I think that's probably a little longer than they wanted. Allows Manitoba access to this stone just because it curls so much here. They looked at playing sort of like a board weight hit and roll. I like this a lot better. It's pretty early in the end. You don't have to be worried about that yellow rock on the forefoot just yet. Gonna have Dale just draw down to it. Probably playing 4.5 feet of curl here. Good scrub by the guys, unable to drag it all the way down, but it is buried nicely behind the guard. And believe it or not, there's still access to that rock on the forefoot the way it curls. Might not be able to kill it. You'd definitely be able to tap it back into the back 12 though. And Team Nova Scotia proving my point, sinking another one in. Fantastic ice surface here. Pete Nichols of Manitoba is going to now try to chase that rock with just some heavy draw. Can even freeze tap it. Key here, you don't want to throw it past everything. Sometimes when you up your weight on a little draw, it doesn't quite catch the same curl and you go by everything. That was not the case here. Very nice touch there by Pete. His rock is accessible though, so Danny Christensen can make the little in-turn hit and roll. Great view of what he's looking at right there. Love to get at least half buried here. They were on it early, then they stopped sweeping, and that was a mistake. Unfortunately, just chipped off of the Manitoba stone out in front of the rings. That was a really nice throw. Alan will know they let that one get away from him, or whoever did say whoa. Still a decent situation for Nova Scotia here. They're lying 3. But Pete will be able to make a play on this. Probably looking to throw bumper weight, board weight. Could just go nose-nose or roll behind one of the guards with this. Trying to carve it over now. That was a really good scrub. That worked out about as well as it was going to. Key there, they got their rock partially buried, but they opened up that other yellow. They can see it right through the hole. And there are no Nova Scotia rocks on the forefoot anymore, so the steel's not looking like it's in play just yet. In-turn hit for Stewart. Guard's not really in play. If you throw soft enough weight, if you touch that guard, you're probably going to miss the back one anyway. Made the hit, unable to stick around. It's getting late in the end. Manitoba would love to find a way to bring that rock back into play. But with 3 yellow counters fairly spread out, no real great opportunity for a double, they're going to opt to draw around this guard instead. Comes up a hair short. Now a better chance to set up the steal for Nova Scotia, because that rock that was just thrown by Dean can be used basically as a center guard. They've already thrown a couple draws in this spot earlier in the end, so I expect this to be fairly close. Need this one to stop. It's going to slide a hair deep. You could play this double. I don't like that at all, though, and neither does Randy, because the problem is if you miss it the wrong way, it allows Nova Scotia to draw around into the forefoot again, and then it's going to be real tough for you to score. This is a much better call here for Dean. Playing the in-turn freeze. Needs to be made, though. And made it is. A very nice shot. Allen going to try to follow him down with his in-turn. His favorite food is borscht soup and KFC. I don't know if you have those together or not. I'm going to take a pass on both. Favorite TV shows, pardon the interruption. I don't have to worry about that today because Randy's not here. He actually had to go to the airport and pick up Mark Duffy, head of Everest. He's the guy behind Everest being involved with curling. For those who tuned in last week, they did an amazing job at the Canadian Curling Club Championships that were held at the Ottawa Hunt Club in Ottawa, Ontario. First year sponsoring that. I believe this is their 7th year involved at the national level with the seniors. And we're watching former Canadian senior champion Alan O'Leary try to draw one down here. They tried to make it curl. It's not going to curl quite enough. You can see his weight was absolutely perfect. They might have brought it in deep enough that Randy can make a play on this. Just cross the face and lie two. Had they left it maybe half a rock to a rock higher, this shot would not be possible. But there's definitely room. It's a precise shot. Doesn't have a lot of area to roll to. Wants his shooter to go right here. If he does get one in there, it's going to be tough for Allen to get at. First shot here for Randy. Facing a 3-0 deficit. Early indication is they need it to curl. That is a very good curling shot. Tell you what, this has been high level right from the opening rock. Sets up a great angle there. Very tough to get rid of this green. You hit it, this rock is coming back onto here. And it's hard if I just delete that to chip this rock out without touching that stone. If they can clip it off of this, it might actually come out over the top and go. But an extremely difficult shot. Couple of beauties here by Manitoba, giving them an opportunity to score multiple, maybe get back in this game. You can see they've got maybe half a rock. If they don't think anything's there with the hit, they probably have to try to block the path for 3 and concede 2. You hate ever doing that, just giving up 2 to the opposition without a fight. They also looked at this in off here. That's pretty steep. It's makeable, but you might want to borrow Kevin Cooey and ask if you could have his hit weight for this one. We saw Allen make a beauty double though in the first for 3. This one's at least as tough as that. think with the broom there beside the rock, that's what they're playing. Don't really hear anything in their mics. So a little bit of guesswork here in the booth. But it is the out turn in off. Facing 2 counters here. Danny trying to hold. It's going to over curl. And now a chance here for Manitoba to rebound. After a first hand, they played pretty well and still gave up 3 points. A chance now to put 3 on the board against Nova Scotia, who actually played very well this end. And are still facing the possibility of dropping 3. Early indications are you want to bet the over on this game if you're betting over and under. You're going to have at least 5 points up on the board after 2. Possibility here of 6. Randy just taking his time, settling in the hack here. In turn draw, needs full 4-foot. Has to avoid his own rock. That's almost biting the button. If he was to freeze to that, he would be 4th shot. Sweepers are on and off it. I think it needs to settle down. That is just some fantastic curling. What a game we have here at the end of 2. It's Manitoba and Nova Scotia tied at 3. When we come back for the 3rd end, it'll be Nova Scotia with the hammer. We can update you on a couple other scores going on out there. Men's game, Alberta. Alberta men, they look like they're going to be a team to reckon with throughout the week. They're up 2-0 on Prince Edward Island. Quebec women lead Prince Edward Island 3-0. They're playing the 2nd end. New Brunswick ladies leading the Northwest Territories 2-1. Northern Ontario men out to a 2-1 lead in their game, playing Nunavut. And they have the hammer as well, so up 1 with the hammer. Nice spot to be early in the game there. And then Newfoundland and Labrador men are leading 3-0 over the Territories. Took 1 in the first, stole 2 in the second. BC ladies lead the Manitoba ladies 1-0. Can update you so far on some of the standings as well. In the men's, Pool A, Quebec leads with a 2-0 record, followed by Saskatchewan and New Brunswick, who are both at 2-1. In Pool B, the Ontario men are 3-0. The Alberta men are 2-0 and out on the ice right now, looking to win their 3rd. In the ladies, Pool A, we have 2 undefeated teams, Manitoba and BC, and they're playing each other right now. So the winner of that game will take over 1st place. The Saskatchewan ladies are 2-1, and in the thick of it, they're the 3-time champions, Sherry Anderson's team. Pool B, women's, Ontario undefeated at 3-0, and Team Nova Scotia, who we had yesterday on our stream, they're off to a 2-1 start. This looks like almost a carbon copy of the first. Great center guard. Harold whipped right around it, and now Dale Mickey of Manitoba trying to play the in-turn freeze. Pretty good spot, just didn't quite curl enough, but it curled enough that Allen doesn't want to make a play on it. He could play a hit and roll. Safer shot is to have Harold play the freeze, and Harold's showing that he's got great draw weight. Another beauty here from Harold. Sinking that one right in there. Not sure how these guys lost 2 games the way they're playing right now. If you're just joining us, Quebec is off to an 0-2 start. Manitoba defeated the Territories, the Northwest Territories, and lost to New Brunswick, so they're 1-1. Teams are going to play a 6-game round robin within their pool, with the top 4 teams advancing to the playoffs or the championship round. Nice freeze made by Pete. His rock's in a real good spot. It's not really going anywhere. If they make a play on it, it will jam right into that yellow, I think. We might find out. Danny's going to throw the intern hit here. Pretty close to what they wanted. It sets up a great angle up here if you're yellow, but it does leave this double here that Manitoba's going to look at. Good opportunity here to lie 2. This is the shot pretty close to where Allen made his double in the first. Boys are all over it early. No mistake there. Didn't quite kill it. These stones are, we had Brad Jacobs on last night. They're fairly new. They're probably 5 or 6 years old, he said. Way livelier than the ones they used to have. But there's no ice surface at a club level that's ever going to have the same type of spring effect that the arena ice does. So a really nice shot there by Pete. Now Danny's going to try to chase the shot that Pete just threw with some board weight. That'll hit and roll the wing here. No mistake. I'll tell you what, this is high level curling early. Looks like Manitoba lies 1. Gonna hit this wide one with the intern here for Dean. Throwing third stones. Like to lie 2 after this for sure. I'll count that other yellow out in the 12-foot. Really nice shot. Those hit and rolls aren't simple. He made it look that way and actually mostly buried behind that yellow as well. So Manitoba lies 2. Allen going to play the out-turn draw here with Stewart, who's left-handed. He could also make a play on his top yellow and open up that back green rock. Very nice draw there. Slides just behind the tee, but fully buried. There is room, though, for Dean to sneak one in here. Plant it right on the button, and they'd be shot rock. Dean's played out of the Portage Curling Club. They used to host back in the day when TSN had the McCain Skins game. Portage, you had to go through there to qualify out of the West I played in that event a couple of times with Eddie Wernick, and I can tell you that we did not advance. It was a cool little spot, the Hotel Curling Club. So you would be in your room, and 10 minutes before your game, you could just put on your curling gear, you walk right through the restaurant, and you're at the club, ready to throw stones. You never had to go outside. They had a great bar upstairs, great viewing area. They've hosted a bunch of things there. I believe the Canadian mixed doubles Olympic trials are going to be in Portage, but I don't know if it's going to be at that facility or not. Out-turn draw here. They got to get on this one. It's starting to curl. They watched it for a long time. They might want to be a little bit careful with that stone. That's the second time that one's jumped on Stewart. I really liked his weight there. And again, they weren't on it for line until it was at least 60, 70% of the way down the sheet. So keep an eye on that. Mess of stones here. Couple of rocks in pretty good spot here in front, top 12 for Nova Scotia. These two rocks are very usable. So Manitoba's got to find another way in. They could just come in off of their own rock there with draw weights, or just draw straight through. They're also looking at potentially this double. A lot of options here. They could try to guard the yellow tap as well. I think the key there is probably to guard most of the center one. So they're going to opt to throw the guard. Conservative call, but it could be a prudent one. Those rocks are very usable right now for Nova Scotia. So first shot here for Randy in 3. Made a great draw last end to tie this game. This is quite a bit easier, but you still have to be precise with the line. We've seen throughout the week guards in this spot over curl. It's hard to get all the way out to it because there's so much finish late. This is looking very good. Boys were patient with that one, just finished it up at the end, and I think that ends up in about as good a spot as it could. So now Nova Scotia, who was out to a 3-0 lead, in danger potentially of giving up a steal, have to find a way to get into the 4-foot here. They could use that wide yellow, come in off of it. They might play a setup shot here. Just nose hit this green one. Then it would be available for a run-in or an angle tap on their next. Manitoba, in theory, would guard that, so they'd be sitting right here. Manitoba, in theory, would guard that, and then they'd be able to play this in off here, potentially for 2. Allen's not necessarily in love with this just yet. He's going to go back down and talk to Stewart. Just want to let our viewers know that we don't have access to the players' mics right now, but we're working on it. Just a small technical difficulty, and it looks like they're going to switch the shots. Where the broom is, this could be for 2 things. It could be a for the draw through the hole, although that would look like a lot of ice. He could also be playing the out-turn hit across the face here. If it is the out-turn hit, it'll be the third big out-turn hit throw in this game for Allen. Made a beauty in the first. This one looks more like draw weight to me, though. Like I said, I thought it was a lot of ice. This has some curling to do for sure. In danger of tapping up the green. Starting to go now. Really trying to carve it over, get it through this hole. Again, the weight was very good. Probably just a hair too much ice. Manitoba now has a chance to tap up their green if they want to take that on, potentially lie 2. I really like the tap here. If you don't, there is that in-off available for Nova Scotia, so just chip this anywhere, third of a rock, half a rock. You can even chip it into backing. It's definitely what the guys are looking at. Just want to play this one here. Love to chip it right into this area. Little heavy, you could chip it back onto that one. They could also play this in off, but I think it's a much harder shot. I really like the tap here. We'll see what the guys decide. Like to give a shout out to Curling Canada and the host committee here in Sault Ste. Marie for doing an amazing job. They had to juggle a little bit. There were some late health restrictions up here, so the opening and closing banquets had to be canceled, but it's been a seamless effort so far outside of some luggage issues which seem to be resolved, and that had nothing to do with Curling Canada nor the host committee. That was an airline issue. Teams, they didn't have their brooms early in the week, but I think that's all sorted out for the most part now. Alan, Eric Harnden and their team done a great job. Those guys are 2 champion curlers in their own right. They've played in this competition a few times. Again, this could be the ice for the in-off or the tap. I'm thinking and hoping it's the tap. Bit of a discussion here between Randy and the front end. Pete Nichols holds the broom for Team Manitoba. Dean and Dale sweep. So they're trying to play this tap. Got to make sure, the only thing it can't do is over curl, which it has. That was the one way you could not miss it. Wow, and chip them into lie shot rock. Randy's made some great shots in this game early. That was not one of them. Not sure. His weight was real nice for the tap. Maybe didn't quite get out to the broom, but that's one he'd like to have back. Nova Scotia now lies 1, and there is an opportunity to draw through this hole. It's not easy, but he just threw down this path, a chance to draw in and lie 2. Fairly big turn of events here in the third. Manitoba goes from having a chance to potentially steal 2. Now Nova Scotia's got 1 on the board unless they make a similar mistake. Hard sweeping here, trying to carve it through this hole. Wow, great curling shot there. Just picked almost at the end, but I think that's 2 on the board for Team Nova Scotia. They'll lead Manitoba 5-3 after 3. It's an end of regret, in my opinion, for Manitoba. They controlled that entire end and had an opportunity to basically lock down a steal. Over curl on Randy's last. But you know what? They faced a 3-0 deficit after the first. They bounced back with 3. These guys are veterans. They won't let that bother them. They'll move forward. That's all you can do in life. Alberta men continue to lead PEI 3-2. PEI with the hammer. Quebec ladies up 4-1 with the hammer versus Prince Edward Islands. New Brunswick and Northwest Territory ladies are tied at 2. Northern Ontario men out to a 6-1 lead over Nunavut. I believe it's 2-0 BC versus Manitoba ladies. That's a battle for first place here. Halfway through the week it will be for both teams in Pool A. Our game, the teams continue to put the points up on the board. With that deuce, Nova Scotia is going to lob this one into the 8-foot. We'll see the corner guard out of Dale here. Intern corner guard, no mistake. And Allen's, he could throw this one in the rings. He's going to throw just a tight guard. I like that. They played aggressive all game. Both teams have. Tons of rocks in play every end. Try to force the other team to make some hard shots, and both teams have made lots of them. Maybe a hair higher, but right on the Everest logo. Dale can come down now, freeze to this one. There's even enough space. He could throw just a back ring shot, tap it back behind the tee. If they get that aggressive with the weight, you absolutely have to make contact with the yellow stone, though. This is a spot we played a lot in the second end. Over curled there. Weight was nice. Would love it to stop short of the rings now, but it doesn't. Had that stop just short, that Nova Scotia wouldn't be able to make a play on it. Now it's in the rings. They can hit it. Still decent result. It opened up that back one. Danny with a simple little hit here with his intern. Hit and roll attempt now for Peter Nichols. Good chance to get in behind these two corners. Have to make sure he saves the shooter though. He did that, did not get the roll. It's early on, but still a decent setup here if you're Manitoba. Couple guards that are usable. No real danger stones yet for Nova Scotia. Gonna roll away from that action. Double available now for Manitoba if they want, or they can just do the straight draw. Really like this call. Way easier to draw to this spot than it is to hit and roll. So Randy's gonna have Peter throw the intern draw. This will sink all the way behind that yellow. Maybe even get a piece buried behind the green if the weight is good. It'll slip probably a little deeper than they wanted. It is buried, but fully accessible for Team Nova Scotia. They can draw down to that easy. They could probably even chase it with Hack, which appears to be the call now. You can see that rock is fully buried, but Hack wait. Not a lot of ice in my opinion for Hack. Yeah, he's just squeezing it out now. They can definitely make a play on shot rock here. Stuart McLean, his favorite movie, Dances with Wolves. I found that to be about as long and boring as some of Randy's games back in the 1989 Brier. Almost a mistake. Will that spin out? Looks like it will. Stuart able to just chip that out. Now Dean will try to follow the same rock that Pete threw, but he just needs to be a hair lighter, pick up more of the curl, and they'll be able to lose this behind everything. See if they can make the adjustment. Yeah, I can't really get behind Dances with Wolves as a favorite movie. I do agree with Seinfeld, though, as a TV show. You can see the difference in the curl there. Really nice weight by Dean and a great judge by the guys, and that is over buried behind that yellow. Run back available now for Nova Scotia. Playing the intern here for Stuart McLean. Throwing third stones here. Nova Scotia in search of their first victory after an 0-2 start. They played dynamite today. Both teams have. That one over curls, but I'll tell you what, that's a spot that's very swingy, and they had ice on the rock. I think he'd need quite a bit of ice there to make that shot, even though he's able to throw that big weight. Chance now for Manitoba to draw in and lie two. Tough to set this rock up anywhere without a double. This rock here is in a spot that's very usable for the other team. You almost have to draw right in here. If you were to slide anywhere back in here, double would be very accessible. So Manitoba, and they'll be well aware of this, they just have to be careful where they put this rock here for Dean. He's had great draw weight all game. If you're not going to stop this one in the top 8, you'd love to drag it all the way back and make the double super thin. Looks like he's got a good one coming in here, though. Actually just needed to stop. It's far enough, the double is there. It's a little bit flat, but we've seen these guys have the ability to throw the big fastball. He's going to throw the in-turn here. It's interesting how often they're playing these off the center line. You see a lot of the top tour teams play these across the face. Russ would tell you he likes the in-turn here due to the gear effect. I'm gonna have to sit down with him sometime and talk about that. So double attempt here for Skip. Alan O'Leary throwing the in-turn. Leading by 2 here in the 4th. Draw 6 action from the Everest Canadian Senior Curling Championships. Good scrub by the guys. And a great shot. Unable to kill the stone, but he does bump it far enough that he will be shot rock. Manitoba second, and they're looking at these yellows up top to see if anything's there, and I think there is. They could definitely hit and roll on the rings here. They'd kill at least 2 of the yellows. No real jam possibility on their red if they play this properly, or on their green one. Pretty easy to remember that we're yellow and green up here in Northern Ontario, the colors of their province. So you want to hit this back onto here. You could definitely kill these 2 stones, roll your shooter somewhere over here. They're just trying to find a way if they could hit this and get onto this back one. I'm not so sure you can, and get your shooter on there. Might clip it on the way by. I think you have a better chance of getting that clip with the in-turn than the out. I'm just to the angle behind the sheet, so I'm not directly behind it. But the key here actually is just to kill 2 yellows if you can and get your shooter on. Might get a mistake from Nova Scotia. They roll out. You'll have an open hit for 2. Potential triple, though. Like the turn choice, in-turn hit, big weight. Would love to get this shooter rolling onto the rings. I think it's got a curl, though. Able to kill 1, open up their back green one, though. That had to curl quite a bit. I think they sort of hit the wrong side of that one. Good chance for the force now. Allen can see all of this stone with the in-turn. Love to hit and stay. Force Manitoba to throw against 3. Turning point last end. Looked like Manitoba was going to steal 1, if not 2. Untimely miss. Allen was able to convert that into a Skip's deuce. That brings us to where we are at 5-3. And now an opportunity, if he makes this open hit, to guarantee he takes the lead into our break. Not only does he make the hit, he rolls to basically a perfect spot. Absolutely perfect. Cuts down the scoring area huge. Instead of Randy just needing to draw basically a piece of the 4, he now needs a piece of the button. So that looked pretty casual, but that was a great curling shot there. I think Randy's displayed. He's had really nice draw weight the whole game. He would have made the other draw for fun. The level of difficulty just ramped up on this. Going to need good communication out of the sweepers here. Quite often you play just a little bit of a tap on the rock that's on the button, but the third, or in this case the second, holding the broom, Peter Nichols, really needs to know what the weight is here so he can make the proper line call. Final stone, fourth and skip. Randy Neufeld needs a piece of the button. Trailing 5-3. This is curling. And it will continue to curl in this spot. I think we're going to see at least yeah, it's going to be a steal at 2. So put 2 more on the board for Nova Scotia at the end of 4. They lead 7-3. We'll be back for the second half of this game from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario at the Everest Canadian Senior Curling Championships after this break.
I was always the shy, quiet kid who loved math. But when I saw math come alive in the geometry of the game, I found my passion and my voice. It's a game of precision, a game of inches. It's the equation that now defines who I am.
One might say I was born to overcome challenges. 2 months premature, in and out of the hospital, and a heart condition. My parents call me their miracle baby. As with all survivors, I searched for my place in this world, and I found it here. This pebbled ice is where I battle now, and at only 12, I am already a 5-year veteran of this sport. I have my sights set on the Olympics. I will push hard to get there. The only size that matters in this sport is the size of your dreams.
Sweep! Sweep! Hurry! Hurry! Hard! Hurry hard! Hard! Hurry hard! 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 Yeah! Woo! We should really be curling.
This ice is everything. It's where I come to feel close to her. to feel whole. This building helped raise me when my mother no longer could. When I step on the ice, she steps with me. My dad is my rock. We're a team now, like the four of us when we step on the ice. People say that this isn't a contact sport, but that's not true. It contacts you where you need it the most.
Canadian Senior Men's and Women's Curling Championships. We're live from the Community First Curling Center in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. My name is Peter Stesky. I am your host. We have had an action-packed game here in the Sault. Teams traded field goals to start the game, and Nova Scotia was able to take two in the third, steal two in the fourth, so they're out to a 7-3 lead. They have an 0-2 start in the event, so this is basically a must-win for them. The Manitoba men are 1 win, 1 loss.
Shot.
Pretty stacked pool in their side of the draw. We have the last 6 men's national senior champions in this field, so it's a very deep field. Everyone talked about the women's field because some of the names are big. You know, you got your Sherry Madaz, Sherry Anderson, Cheryl Bernard, Marianne Arsenal, but the men's field is just as deep. Just shows you the level of curling in Canada and seniors.
Set.
I'd like to thank Everest for stepping up again. This is their 7th year, I believe, sponsoring this event. They always do a great job. We've faced some challenges here in the Sault due to health protocol, but the Harnan brothers and their team of volunteers, nearly 100 volunteers, have rallied around it, creating a very safe playing field for the players and still a great experience. So not easy to balance that given the state of the world today. So I want to give a shout out to the host committee again, Curling Canada and Everest. It's my first time ever at a Canadian Seniors, and I've just turned 50, so I could step on the ice and play, but I think it's a little safer for me to be back here behind the glass, as Brad Jacobs told me last night. So the 4-point lead here, you'd think Nova Scotia would like to try to play a clean end. I'm not sure if that guard just short of the rings was on purpose or not. I'm thinking not. Probably a small mistake. Probably supposed to be on the rings. You'd hate to drop sort of a modified center when you're up 4. Manitoba was looking at playing the hit and roll here. The team talked Randy into the draw. I like the draw a lot better. Early in the end. Just a heads up that we do have access now to the player mics. Great job by the tech team here with tsn.ca and Curling Canada YouTube page.
All right, first goes. Get in tight, you guys. It's just guarding that. What?
I thought that Nova Scotia might try to play some defense. Maybe there's just too many rocks out there already early. They're going to throw a guard here, going under the theory of at best defense sometimes is a good offense. Bit of a mistake there, though. Danny laughing at himself. He won't be happy with that one. Promoting the other team's rock into the rings. Double takeout attempt now for Manitoba. It's difficult but necessary, I believe, in this situation. Great opportunity to lie two. Really like the weight choice here. That was a tough shot. Great weight call and a great line call in addition to a great throw. A lot of teams would have whipped that down there. Then you don't have the ability to manipulate it with the directional sweeping. Manitoba did a great job there.
Of course, it doesn't kick it far enough.
I think this game is far from over.
Yeah.
They're trailing by 4. They need to bounce back with 2 or 3 here. They've shown the ability to do so. Both teams have made a lot of shots in the first half of this game, and I'm not talking simple ones, super high level difficulty. Stuart McLean's going to be asked to throw. He's a lefty, so this is his out turn. Just sort of a little back line hack weight, make a play on shot rock. Big scrub here, trying to get it past the guard. That was a very good line call. Anticipated the curl well in advance, able to get rid of that stone.
They are shot. Yeah. We still play that draw. Yeah. Yeah.
Manitoba gonna throw the in-turn draw here around this guard. Like to be in the full 8 foot. The deeper you slide, the easier it will be for Nova Scotia to chase it. So you don't want to throw this all the way to the 4 foot. It could also over curl and come out the other side if you go too deep. Dean Moxham throwing third stones here.
Line set. Line set. Yeah. 8 foot. 8 foot.
And you can see, even though that one stopped just barely full 8 foot, there is some access to the rock on the out-turn side. In-turn, though, for Stewart. But this is not easy by any stretch. He's maybe got, actually from his hack, maybe half a rock max or less. Off and on. Looks like another perfect throw here. That's a great shot by Stewart, and now Nova Scotia lies 2. Not many mistakes being made out there today, and the ones that were made were both late by Manitoba, and it shows up on the scoreboard with the 2 in the third end and 2 in the fourth. Trying to battle back in this game. Need a deuce. Dean's going to go down and talk about the weight they want to throw with this shot. They're going to try to play the out turn across the face. Randy wanted bump weight. Dean doesn't think they could get there, so we'll see if we can listen in here.
I mean, if you could ever make bump
Time out? Yeah.
So Randy won that one. They're going to go with bump weight. Try to hit this stone here. Make the roll buried. Might even be able, if it curls enough, to clip that back yellow, but that's asking a lot for sure.
Well, yep, yeah. Hi.
Just going to over curl. It'll open up the back, but now Nova Scotia lies 2 and is throwing.
Here, we're not great, but as long as we don't give them a roll, well, we don't really want them rolling either way. Dead buried right here, right?
Just trying to figure out the best place to draw this one. They don't want to set up just an easy double or even a potential triple. If they slid this all the way, I would say, to the tee line,
Try to sink it if we can.
might be a triple available.
Full 4 foot.
It's staying open. I don't know. I guess we leave it to top 8.
Good spot here. You're leading 7-3. You're already lying 2 and throwing. Would love to get a force. Love a steal even more here, obviously.
Full 4. Looks like it needs to curl.
Allen's a little worried that he's throwing this one heavy. It's got a lot of curling to do for sure. Might even chip off his own yellow. A little audible here.
The triple.
Wasn't overly close to what they called. Hit and roll will be available here for Manitoba. They'd be able to kill 2 for sure.
It's heavy, I guess.
I think his line would have been fine there. I heard Allen say just heavy, and I agree. That would have curled lots more, but he probably was close to back 12 weight there. Great angle from the guys in the truck. Great camera work. It's been a pleasure to work with these guys for 2 weeks. So a potential triple takeout here to lie 2. Not taking a lot of ice, middle of the rock here. First stone of the 5th end for skip Randy Neufeld. Opportunity to potentially get back in this game. Currently trailing 7-3.
Whoa.
Yep. Oh, yep. Yeah. Hard.
Might have lost it. Killed 2, but unfortunately lost the shooter. They don't really care too much that they left that yellow one in. The big thing there was losing their shooter. You can see it just jumped right there. Over curled. Still a good shot, but they didn't get everything out of it they'd hoped. Now Allen has 2 choices. He could just throw a straight guard on this or draw another one in. I really like to draw in, because if you guard it, there is a shortish run back for Manitoba. So why force them into a shot for 2 when you could just draw anywhere and around these guards? I even like the wide in turn. They're going to try to draw anywhere in here. Only it'd be with a Yellowstone. Whole goal here is to outcount the green rock in the top of the rings and not set up a double. Sounds simple. We'll see what happens. This is not curling either. That ends up in, I mean, there's not a lot of necessarily worse spots that could have ended up. Just didn't curl enough. Maybe 2 feet heavy, but that's not very much. Not sure if they needed less ice on that, but now a chance for Manitoba to snag a deuce here. Seen a lot of turning points late in ends in this game. Outturn double attempt skip. Randy Neufeld, chance to put 2 points on the board here for Manitoba. Trying to carve this one over. Wow, just clips the back. Gets a single, but a chance for 2 goes by the wayside. At the end of 5, Nova Scotia will lead Manitoba 7-4. They'll have the hammer when we come back.
Two.
Wasn't going to be easy for Manitoba to get back in this one, trailing a great team here like Nova Scotia by 4. It's going to be a taller hill to climb now that they were forced to the single, trailing by 3 without playing the 6th. I don't necessarily think that the score has been indicative of the play, and I don't mean that as an insult to Nova Scotia. They've certainly played great. So has Manitoba. There's just a couple of key late breaks in the 3rd and 4th, and Nova Scotia took full advantage. This is probably the best game we've had on this sheet so far in terms of execution, though.
Good to center line.
I got it. Or slider.
Center guard thrown up there by Dale. Mickey Harrell is going to draw around this one. You don't have to worry too much about the line here. You just basically want to make sure you get this rock somewhere in the 8-foot.
Okay, boy.
That rock fully pops out into the open, but again, that's not a concern of Nova Scotia right now. They just don't want to leave any guards of their own around. Keep the rocks in front of the tee. No need really to junk it up.
Pretty good. Foot in front. Right here. Yeah, over there. Yep. Heart beating.
That's a real nice guard there. Again, it looks simple. Oh, it's a center guard. No, that's perfectly buried behind the green. Only a foot in front of the other one. Very tough double peel now. So Dale Mickey of Manitoba has done his job this end. Again, this rock here being thrown by Harold of Nova Scotia does not have to be buried behind these guards. They want it in front of the tee line, in the rings. Get a nice situation set up like that. They might go to the appeal game. They didn't really do much of that last end and got away with it, so we'll see how they approach this end. Those are 2 beauty shots there by Harold.
Yeah.
Little freeze tap here for Peter Nichols, throwing second stones for the team medal of the LaSalle Curling Club.
Yep, Dale. Hard, Dale. Hard.
Gonna slide by the top one they were trying to tap. Got the back one. Tap that yellow one to a nice spot right on the button behind the tee. So that was a productive shot, but an easy one here now for Nova Scotia. Open hit here for Danny. If anyone could tell me how to get on the internet here at the club, I'd really appreciate it. Nice roll there. Those two rocks are at a decent situation for sure, but a freeze attempt still available. For Manitoba. Bit of a desperate situation here, down 3 without.
Yep.
Just need to find a way to put as much pressure as possible on Nova Scotia. They need a few breaks. This spot, it just curls unbelievable. Love to bounce off. That bounce is key. Now they'll have access to tap their own one for sure. I don't mind. Yeah, I like what Alan's looking at there. Just ripping this out. You rip it off your own yellow. You might even kill the back one. And that's the trouble rock right now for Nova Scotia, is the rock that's on the back of the button. The other two stones that are not their favorite are these green guards. They've decided to go up and peel. It's a good call with a 7-4 lead. Again, just to show you the level of service here. In Sault Ste. Marie, I asked for the internet access, and one of our viewers overheard it, came up and gave it to me, so I'm back, baby. No peel, no mistake on the peel there to Danny. Pretty simple shot. Again, this is a spot, it curls huge. Dean Moxon was trying to draw around everything. Just gonna clip that top green. Like to get past that. That's lined up pretty nice now, actually, if you're Manitoba. This rock here, not going anywhere. They're gonna come down and look at the proper angle here.
You guys will come too.
Hit this way, you're still gonna hear them. That's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
You bounce this up here. You hit this on the nose hard.
That should go over the top.
Probably gonna hit this though, I think.
It might make, well, that's fine. We don't want that.
As long as it's got enough weight to get it out.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, you can sit that high. I think it'll go over the top. It's kind of touchy.
As thick as we can, right?
Yeah, it's thick as you can.
Another option is, yeah, you don't want to hurt. Just hit it with feel.
Okay.
That should work out okay.
Yeah, I
Even
mean,
nose too, I think.
if we just play tap on our yellows, then he just does that, and it's good for him, right?
So they discussed potentially a peel of the short guard. Instead, they're going to smash these greens.
As much, yes.
They'll probably leave the green that's closest to the forefoot in play, unless they can really get some spin going. But if they do nose it, they'll be able to get rid of that top green one. I really like that. I think this is the best call they can make. Don't want to guard in this situation when you're up 3 with.
Close. Yep. Hard.
Able to get the spin I talked about, and that rock is gone. That is another great throw by Stewart. And now if you're Manitoba, you're not real happy.
What's that? Yeah.
Excellent shot there by Stewart. Good discussion. They knew exactly where to hit that to get those rocks to spring out of there. And now this is a situation you hate. You're down 3 without the hammer and you're throwing double takeouts here. Dean Moxham, 3rd for Manitoba. Wow, and he sneaks that through the hole. That'd be hard to do if he had to.
I don't know. He peeled the guard now?
Option to throw another draw in here, another log on the fire, or they could peel the guard.
So that'll rip the guard.
More conservative plays to peel the guard.
Just peel that. Gonna freeze.
The peel, you're looking to maybe just blank this
Yeah,
end.
but then we get a yellow to run into it.
If you're looking to finish the game, you'd throw the draw here. I think peel's more conservative call, but I think it's the right call as well. You peel, it's going to be real tough to give up a steal here.
Yep. Clean.
Okay, good.
Just clean.
Easy peel made. Now be a freeze attempt from Randy.
Yeah, that was probably the scoreboard thing to do.
Needs to get right on the button. Even if he does, there'll be a short little run back available for Nova Scotia. This has got to be locked in there nice. You'd have to just over curl this rock here. It's probably my best circle of the week. If he was to leave it sort of here, got there late on my part, the short little run back with the top yellow will be available. So he has to get this locked to the face, if not an inch or two across the face here. So a very precise draw with the outturn. His first rock in 6, and this is where we've seen a lot of rocks really curl. This one's not, so that tells me it's heavy. So he chips and rolls off. He'll lie 3rd shots. Interesting now, because if they hit that rock, sorry, I'm going to go to yellow. If they hit that rock there, it will allow a draw in here and a potential steal. I mean, the obvious call here is the hit. They could also throw in yellow rock, just go right here and block this path.
Have been all game long. Every end, it's been like
I mean, it's a great situation regardless for Nova Scotia, but with this one being third shot, I don't know if they have to hit it. I sort of like the draw here. At the end of the day, it might not matter, to tell you the truth, but good spot nevertheless for Alan O'Leary. No center guards in play. Open hit to lie 3. Just don't want to hit and roll and set up a pocket. It's going to roll out, and that is fine. They don't really need more points right now. Their job is to to stop Manitoba from scoring points.
This way or this way? Yeah.
They're going to play this swoopy outturn draw. Need to freeze right down. 2-shot rock here. Even if they make it, the button will be available for Allen. He could draw for a single. I think if you're Manitoba right now, you'd maybe be happy just forcing them to 1. No choice but to play this shot.
Give it a little. Give it a little. Line's good.
Room.
Got room.
Line's good. Line's good.
Sweepers are working this one for weight. Just got off it now. Might have just overswept it. This is going to slide. Perfect. That's a great shot there by Randy.
Shot.
Thought the guys might have overbrushed it, but they are perfect. Locked on that stone. 2 shots available now for Nova Scotia. They could just draw for a single, or they could play this short little run back. It's not easy. Looks like Stewart's leaning towards. They could play this. Again, it'd be yellow onto there. Have to watch this jam, obviously.
Firm. Just regular up.
A nose hit would do it. This is just going to be Skip's choice. You could potentially score 2 playing this shot. The draw is obviously only for 1. The draw is a safer play, or might be the easier shot in my opinion, but we've seen Allen make a couple big hits here. And if he's comfortable in this spot, he's the one throwing the rock, then this is the right shot. Final shot here of the 6th then, live from Sault Ste. Marie, the Everest Canadian Seniors Curling Championships. Chance to possibly end the game here for Nova Scotia. Trying to carve this one over. And a great shot for 2. So it makes our score Nova Scotia 9, Manitoba 4. And that's going to be it. That is our final. It was a great game that'll move Nova Scotia to a 1-2 record. The same for Manitoba. We wish these 2 teams the best of luck the rest of the week. That was a well-played curling game. We'll be back at 4 p.m. today. This is Peter Stesky. Thank you for tuning in, and we're signing off. Hope you enjoyed the action.